Well, greetings, and once again, thank you for letting me come into your home. This is Ed Coleman, Conversations with Ed, starting my 6-week run. This is going to be my 5th year of doing this. Can you realize that? 5 years that I've been coming into your homes, talking to you, bringing you news that I hope you have enjoyed, but more importantly, I hope you've learned something from. We had a lot of things going on in the last couple of months. I mean, it's been absolutely crazy. The good thing was President Obama, yay. The bad thing was what's happening in Boston, what happened with the school shootings. Now we have all of this conversation about gun control. We have all of the conversation coming up about Obamacare. We have all the discussion coming up about the discussions. It's going to be a rough couple of months coming up, but I hope for the next 6 weeks we can at least take an hour a week and sit down and talk to each other and have a good time. We're going to keep the phone numbers up because once I bring on my very first guest for this run, very special guest for this run, and also a return guest with some really, really important news. But I do want to give you a hint on what's going to be coming up over the next 6 weeks. We're going to be focusing on benefits groups, and the main benefit group is going to be the veterans. Next week I have 2 gentlemen coming in from McGuire Medical VA Hospital. They're going to talk to you guys and gals out there who are reluctant to go and put your paperwork in. They're going to talk to you and tell you how to get through that system and get what you have coming to you. You've earned it, you need it, you should have it. This week we're going to talk about veterans housing and an outfit right here in Richmond that's doing some fantastic things. You're going to hear all about that from the person who created the program. I like teasing her because she's so sharp. And we're going to do that. We're also going to talk about my, I guess he's becoming my co-host because he's been on every session that I've had over the last 5 years, and that's Joe Morrissey, friend of mine, friend of you guys, and you know it too. Joe's got some really good things coming up that he wants to talk about. I think that'll be in about 3 weeks. We're going to talk about the governor's race, and we're talking to the different groups. As I tell you, we're going to bring the guys back from roots. My guys reinventing ourselves outside of the system. They are doing a great job, and you're going to be really impressed with some of the things that you hear from them. And also you're going to hear from this, it's not new, it's not a new group, it's kind of a group that has evolved. I'm part of it, I'm kind of proud of being part of it. It's called TTY, or Transforming Today's Youth. It's a mentorship program. I think now we have about 50 students and about 20 mentors that are really gelling. The program is coming together, so I'm going to have the CEO come on probably next week, talk to you about that too. So with all of that being said and done, let me introduce my guest so we can get busy, and I think we should put the phone numbers up right away, guys, because I think once we start talking about this, the phones will start ringing. Folks, if you have any other questions or anything that you want to talk to that's not what we're talking about, don't hesitate to call. That's what this is, Conversations with Ed. Just say, excuse me. How about that? Now, as you can see, I'm sitting next to this lovely lady. This is Christie Smith. Christie heads up the Neighborhood Housing Services of Richmond. They have about 1,000 programs going on, but this one is near and dear to my heart. As you know, I'm a vet. I talk about veterans and their benefits. In fact, I didn't say hello to my folks out at McGuire VA Hospital, all the nurses and doctors that take care of us, Linda, Diane, Nurse Diane, Peggy, all of you out there, all of the girls in the lab who have us laughing while they're draining us of all of our blood, Carol, in the lab. All of you folks, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want all you guys and girls that are watching, should say men and women that are watching, veterans, you get a chance to say thank you to these young ladies once they help you out. But Christie, we're going to let you talk, and we're going to let you tell us about this excellent program. It's called Creating a Home for Our Heroes. I don't think you can see that from there, but we'll bring it in a little bit closer as the show goes on. Okay, with that being said, hello. How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. You know that. Tell us about this. What's going on?
So Christie Smith, Neighborhood Housing Services of Richmond. This program that we're having tonight is Create Our Homes for Our Heroes. What Neighborhood Housing is doing is we have a home that we're rehabbing. And we're rehabbing this home for homeless veterans that's out in the Richmond area. Do you know I went over to VA and I talked to them, and I realized that it was between 175 to 200 homeless vets right here in the central Richmond area.
It's amazing. Isn't it amazing?
It is amazing.
Yeah, and this again, what we're talking about is veterans who have not taken advantage. There's no reason for a U.S. military veteran in the United States to be homeless. There are programs for that. And what Christie is talking about, this is not just a program, a stopgap. This is something that can lead into a really major program, because this is just the first home.
That's right.
And this home, I understand, is not just going to be some place for a guy to come and sleep. There's going to be programs involved with this.
That's right.
Tell us about those.
This is just a start for them. It's a start for veterans that are homeless to come back and reintegrate into the community. Neighborhood Housing Services, our mission is to promote successful home ownership and sustain communities. Our veterans that actually are out there, that have fought for us, saved, our lives is what I think. And I think that we should give back. This was a way for Neighborhood Housing Services of Richmond to give back to the veterans and actually have a home so they would come in, be comfortable, get a fresh start within the community.
What I want to know now, you said you've been over to McGuire, I'm
Yes.
guessing. I understand you took the news over there to kind of shake them up a little bit.
Just a tad bit.
Just a tad bit, but it worked though, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It did.
Where are you going to go out, or who's going to go out, find these veterans, because obviously they don't have cable.
They don't.
So somebody's going to have to go out, grab them off the street, get them to go get sober if that's the case.
That's
work
right.
it out. Now, are you getting them off the street, or are you going to be getting them from the programs at McGuire?
We actually will be getting them off the streets.
That's outstanding.
We'll be getting them off the streets. This program is designed to be able to bring them in.
Mm-hmm.
And if they are, need to be sobered up on drugs, or if they're, alcoholics or whatever, be able to give those services they need
At
to
this-
get them
at the
straight
home.
at this home. Also, doing that, we would be able to also give them some stability, because we want to integrate job reintegration for them, helping them have job training.
Outstanding.
Be able to have services and partners that can connect with us so that these guys will be able to reintegrate back into society as we know it.
As we know it. And that key phrase, as we know it.
That is
because
correct.
a lot of souls have been lost. I look at the statistics because I'm pretty much involved in these programs. As you guys know, you've been listening to me, as I said, for 5 years. But this new group of young men that are coming home seem to be exhibiting problems that the older generation, my generation, might have exhibited but wasn't recognized. It wasn't recognized what was wrong, because you still have homeless Vietnam vets out in the street. You still have that. But now at least there's organizations like this one and the VA itself that are becoming aware of this problem because of the suicides.
That's right.
I mean, it's 18 to 20-something suicides a day. And you wonder, what is the trigger? What is the key? What is making these young men do that? That's a discussion we're going to have with the folks from McGuire when they come in next week.
Okay.
Now, this program that you're talking about, you have a whole week, is it coming up?
And this house actually was designed, it was given to us through one of our partners. It was donated to us.
The house was donated?
Donated
God
through
bless.
Wells Fargo Bank. To
Outstanding.
Neighborhood Housing Services of Richmond. And we actually chose for Affordable Housing Week to actually showcase this house for the homeless veteran program that Neighborhood Housing Services wanted to provide to homeless veterans.
Is it open now? I mean,
We actually are in the middle of doing renovations.
Okay.
The renovations will go through the week of April the 22nd through the 27th.
Okay, so that next week then?
That is correct. Next week we will really dive in there, and all of the renovations will be completed. We have a bunch of volunteers coming in and sponsors to help make
Who's
this work.
sponsoring, and how do people get to be sponsors?
Okay, well, we have one of the Title I sponsors is Federal Franklin Bank. They actually are sponsoring Affordable Housing Week. We actually have, of course, Wells Fargo, as I mentioned, to help with the property. We have Bank of America. We have M&T Bank, BB&T.
You have some prominent sponsors. Now, right now, if somebody looking, decided that, boy, that's something I'd like to contribute to, and it's tax deductible, right?
Yes, it's tax deductible.
And how would they go about doing that?
They would contact us at Neighborhood Housing Services of Richmond. We're located at 2712 Chamberlain Avenue, Richmond, Virginia, 23222. Our phone number is 804-329-2500.
Do it again.
Again, it's 804-329-2500.
Now, what are you going to be doing for the week? I know you have visiting dignitaries. I'm going to be a visiting dignitary on Wednesday. I'll be there in person to sit down and discuss what's going on with you folks.
We will. We
make it fun too, right?
We actually will be doing renovation and repair. You asked me how could people get involved. One of the things that we are continuing to look for is donation of material and supplies, such as sheetrock, lumber. It would be nice to have a HVA company, heating, air conditioning company come in and donate that system, as well as in-kind time. They can write that time off as well as the equipment, but this is to help keep our veterans warm, or cool, as I should say now that it's warming up during the summer.
Well, I give you credit, though, because you started talking about this about a year ago.
Yes, I did.
And you see what happens when you make up your mind and you put the energy to go forward. And this woman works hard, and she's got a crew. We always sit on these shows with the heads of the organization. Christie's got a crew that is outstanding. I mean, in that event that you had not too long ago that I was able to attend, I was so impressed at the professionalism, and that's the key. We don't see that as a rule amongst our folks, okay? And you folks out there listening know what I'm talking about. All right? We don't usually see that not only the professionalism, but the enthusiasm and the effort to make sure something is right.
Well, I thank you for that,
yeah,
because that means a lot, and it means a lot to my staff. And as I say, you do talk to the heads, but without good heads, you couldn't have a good staff. Without that, we are nothing.
A general is only as good as his troops.
That's right.
But now talk about your staff and some of the people that you have on there, because most folks don't know anything about neighborhood housing.
Well, we have Samuel Robinson, which actually is heading up this program, Create a Home for Heroes for Affordable Housing Week. Samuel Robinson is doing the marketing and the media stuff for us.
Okay.
And he's been very successful with reaching out, and making sure that we get the word out about these projects and programs. We have Ashley Jarman, and Ashley Jarman is our intake specialist with Neighborhood Housing Services of Richmond, and she does the intake of the information when clients come in. She kind of greets them and so forth. We have Kelvin Oliver, which is our homeownership manager and director of lending, and he takes care of our lending products.
So everything is one stop.
That's right. We are a one-stop shop.
Now, besides doing this project, neighborhood housing, for the veterans.
That's right.
What else are you doing over there?
We actually, we teach financial literacy. We promote successful home ownership. So along with the financial literacy, we teach post-purchase classes, which means once people purchase their homes, we teach them how to maintain them. And what we mean by maintain them is changing the filters, power washing the house, cleaning the gutters, the things that when you purchase a home, you just don't get when you close at the bank. That's it. Well, with us, we take them a step further.
There is a little bit involved, isn't it? When you own a home.
True.
That's coming up too. But I want to get back to this because this is great. Now, this is the first house, right?
This is the first house of many.
That was the word I was looking for. Okay. How do you plan on going forward with this, and are you on a time schedule?
With this, our time schedule is to have the construction completed through the Affordable Housing Week. That next week is to integrate a homeless veteran into the property.
Have you found the vet yet, or were you waiting until
we
this is
actually
done?
have identified several different veterans.
How many does the house hold?
The house will hold 3.
Hold 3. Is it set up for handicapped at all?
Yes, it is.
It's
ADA accessible.
Okay. Now, the classes or programs that you're offering, they're going to be held at the house itself?
These programs for the veterans, yes. We have a common area in the property that will be like a meeting area or a common area where they can sit and host people. We will actually go in and teach some financial literacy classes there because, again, what we want to do is reintegrate them into the community as we know it. Teach them about credit. Some of these veterans have been away for a long time.
Uh-oh, we got a call coming in. Let's see here. Hello, caller. Thanks for calling in.
Hi, good to see you. Am I on the air?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Okay, it's so good to see you back on the air.
Thank you.
I really love this topic. Now, one of the questions that I have for you is for the young lady there. Is this event open to all of the vets? I mean, can all of the vets come out there? I mean, if vets are looking for a place to live, or do you have to be selected?
Okay, can you answer that, Christie?
Yes.
Okay.
This program is set up for homeless, disabled veterans. So anyone that fits that category can come in and ask for that help. If we have space available, if we have homes available, then certainly we definitely will extend that arm. If we don't, we would try to find other resources and means to help that veteran have a place to stay.
Answer your question for you, caller?
Yes, in a way, but many vets are so homeless that they don't have a TV. How are they going to find out about this program?
What we often do is, with Neighborhood Housing Services of Richmond, we actually put on sneakers and we actually walk the pavement.
So you're out fishing.
It's us, along with other veterans that are helping with this program. We do have an array of veterans that have volunteered their services and their expertise to help their brethren or sisterins out, and they want to be in the trenches with us. So they go to places they know or they think that is common.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead, caller. That's it? Okay, thanks for the good questions, too.
Thank you.
Right.
You're doing a great job.
Appreciate it. Yeah, my cousin down in Atlanta, his name is Morocco Coleman. Okay. His grandfather was the one that was driving Miss Daisy in real life.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
In real life, yeah. Hello, caller.
Hey, hello. How you doing today?
Who's that, Mario?
Yeah, Mario.
That's one of my fans. How you doing, brother? Everything's good. What's going on with you with your busy self?
Everything is looking good as always.
Well, we're going to have Gwen on next week. Have you had a chance to confirm it?
Yes. And is this the lady that you got on that there? That's Christie Smith, I think. Is that the lady number you gave me, I think?
Yeah, from Neighborhood Housing. This is Mario from Transforming Today's
Youth.
Youth.
That was the one that was doing the, what was that, church that time on a Saturday?
She was doing the foreclosures, yeah.
Doing the Empower yourself against default, foreclosure event.
Yeah. She's still at it. She's still busy.
We actually have one on May the 18th.
You hear that? May the 18th. If you miss,
where would that be?
That will be at Trinity Life Center. Empower yourself against default. We have several banks.
The one before Deer Road, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, that's the one Ed and Michelle Otto went to. Some of my mentors went to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll probably ask them to come back again and help out.
Yeah, because I couldn't make it that day, but I'll make it on the 18th, though.
Well,
my calendar is clear for the 18th. I definitely will make it on the 18th. We'll definitely love to talk to you about some of the good things you're doing.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for your support.
Good job, Mario. Okay.
You're very welcome.
All right.
Thank you, Ed.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, too. And you keep up the good work. You're doing a great job with your TTY.
Thank you, man.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Yeah, Mario put Transforming Today's Youth together.
Okay.
And he's done a really good job of again, building a team, okay? So, and I shouldn't be talking, I'm taking away from Gwen next week, but as I said, 50 students, 20 mentors.
That's great.
That is outstanding.
That's great. That's huge. That's huge. That's giving back.
Absolutely.
And that's what we do here, is giving back.
Give back. Seeing that a lot of groups are starting up now. You're kind of waking up, and I think the Obamas have a lot to do with it.
They do.
Okay. And the young people that are coming out, now there's a lot of serious young people. We're going to have some of them on the show too. Not every young person that you see is an idiot. Okay. All right. We have a real strong group of young people waiting in the wings to come out, and we're going to give them some opportunity to come on and talk about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be fun. Again, for the next 6 weeks, we're going to talk about what you just brought up, okay? The foreclosure program, the last one was so successful.
It was February 9th. We had 100 people show up, and we had over 80% of the 100 people that showed up, they were successfully modified.
You see, now did you hear that? When she says showed up, that meant that 100 people were in foreclosure on their homes.
That's right.
And they were able to come to that event, that meeting, and get counseling and get direction on how not only to get out of foreclosure, but how to go forward with their homes. So if you have a problem, if you're underwater, if you're falling behind for whatever reason, you guys need to come out to this event. There's no obligation. It doesn't cost you anything. You come out, you meet a lot of nice people, you sit down, and you get information that helps you grow. And that's the secret.
That's right.
That's the secret,
That's
okay?
right.
So, that's that program. Now I know she has something else. Listen, you're gonna meet a lot of busy women on this next couple of weeks here, because I'm gonna bring on some real hard workers and some real stars. Like Christie to me is a star.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
No, because you say you're gonna do it and you do it.
Yeah, I mean, along with this program, we actually, with our other programs, have implemented healthy eating, healthy choice with all of our programs. And one of the things we're doing with this piece of the veterans is, because they're homeless, we know that they're not eating balanced meals. We know that they're really not eating, and whatever they're eating, it's whatever's left over.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that we have is now a chef that's part of our staff that's able to cook meals, show them how to prepare meals on a budget, you know. And we talked about going into the store, purchasing a meal for 4 people with $10 and being successful at it and eating for a family of 4.
Sound like my wife. she can do that. She can stretch a dollar when it comes down to shopping. And all of this is,
make it holler, huh?
It's yeah, right. But it's common sense shopping too.
Yeah, it is. It is.
See, because we get it caught up in going in the shop, and they know the merchandisers. That's their job. They
Exactly.
put things to catch your attention that
Exactly.
you don't need. Okay?
Exactly.
And then the one that gets me now is you can order it online, only things that you...
Yeah.
And we'll double it. We'll double the order for free. Just pay shipping and handling.
Nothing's free.
Wait a minute. $18 for a piece that I ordered. The little plastic piece costs $18. It costs $19 to ship it. Okay, so watch out for that. We'll be talking about all of this kind of stuff. As you can see, this is going to be a fun 6 weeks. Serious but fun. There's no reason for us to frown when we're talking serious. You know? Now, you got that one. Come on. Let's hear it. What's next?
You know, one of the other new initiatives that Neighborhood Housing Services is working on is, as the Mayor Dwight Jones has pushed out his consolidation plan for the last, you know, for the 2013-2015 year, one of his big pushes is decentralizing public housing. And so Neighborhood Housing Services of Richmond has been working with Richmond Redevelopment and Housing Authority for that, to decentralize public housing.
Now, what do you mean when you say decentralizing public housing? Explain that.
I'm glad you asked.
Oh, I couldn't help it.
What that means is giving people that's in public housing a chance to purchase a home successfully, and then teaching them how to keep the home, and then teaching them how to reintegrate into communities, because the community, as they know, is public housing. The community as we live and we want to integrate is in our communities. So the way that I understand it and the way that I see it is, people that's in public housing, with the knowledge, they'll be powerful as you and I. They will be powerful to purchase a home, and they'll be educated, and they will know, just as you and I, the rights and the wrongs, being able to make those decisions to own that home and keep that home. But just like we had a chance, Neighborhood Housing Services of Richmond gives everybody a chance. They deserve a chance too to be a homeowner. Whether they decide to or not, let that be their choice.
I like that. Yeah. When does that start?
That's starting right now. I have about 30 women that we've qualified currently.
Oh boy, you're gonna have to give your information out again. Listen, you know, when you watch me, this is 5 years again. I love saying this is 5 years, but they
that's a milestone. Right?
It is. It's a big milestone, especially on a community network. But listen, I always tell you, you got to have a pen and a piece of paper when you watch me, because there's information like you just heard that comes out, and I'm going to ask Christie once again. We're gonna drag it out so you can get that pen and piece of paper, and maybe even call up somebody and say, turn on channel 95 Comcast, or if you happen to be on Fios channel 65, I believe.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. And
36.
36, yeah, Fios channel 36, and listen in, because this is very, very important, and it might not pertain to you. That's the problem that we have with a lot of our meetings and a lot of our shows and a lot of our things. The people that should be watching are not watching because they either can't, or they're not concerned, or they're not in a position to. So we need all of you that are watching to take the information, because each and every one of you out there knows somebody in the position that we're talking about. Somebody in your family, it's a friend, a cousin, somebody that you know, even yourselves, is in the position that we're talking about, whether it be foreclosure, whether it be want to buy a home, brand new home, never had a home before.
Veteran homelessness.
Want to know how to go about doing it. If you want to be involved in this whole big nutshell here of home ownership, these folks can help you get there, and they can, more importantly, help you stay there. So if you're in foreclosure, and I've given you enough time, you got that pen ready? Here's who you're going to contact. Get them, Christie.
Neighborhood Housing Services of Richmond at 2712 Chamberlain Avenue, Richmond, Virginia, 23222. The phone number is 804-329-2500. Again, that's 804-329-2500. Or you can like us on Facebook at NHS of Richmond. We also have a website, www.nhsofr.org.
Very good. Now, they're located right here. It's not like you have to go, to outer space to get this done. They're right here on Chamberlain Avenue. They have a very nice office, and as we said earlier, a very professional staff. So you won't go through some of the things that you go through trying to get what you deserve in today's society. These are people that know and care about you and know how to get things done, okay? So that's on that level. Now, we've covered that. What do you got next?
Well, I wanted to touch on one of those topics you talked about,
okay,
or the subject was, share the information.
Yeah.
What I found in our classes, when we talk to the clients, we don't do a lot of advertising. We don't, we do hardly any, actually, with the exception of being on your show, and you thinking I'm important, but what happens is this great information and the great programs that we have.
Wake up, cameraman, back there. Come
people
on.
aren't sharing.
I'm trying to, you're supposed to be on screen now. They know it. Wake up. There you go. Thank you. Okay.
So if people aren't sharing the information, and people out there are still losing their homes, you have your neighbors next door that's in trouble, and one neighbor has gone to get help and have come to us. They keep that information to themselves. They're not sharing. So your next neighbor or the person around the corner is losing their home. But guess what, people? That brings down your property value in your neighborhood.
That's
so if you start talking and communicating and helping one another, sometimes we might can save some of these values holistically in these blocks or in these communities that's really plummeting.
Well, you know something, Mario, who you just heard on the phone, this is a guy, he's on the same page as you are, and he's in a community. He gets the people in the community on Saturdays to come outside and help clean up the community.
And that's good.
Absolutely. Hold on just a second. Hello, caller.
Oh, yes. Good afternoon, and bless both of you guys.
Well, thank you.
See what she's talking about?
Uh-huh.
You and I know what it's all about. But see, this time where we are now, and sharing, and you try to talk to the younger ones, and they don't want to hear it, and I had some old things and took it trying to get some money for it, and the lady said, I don't know, said because the children don't value antiques and things anymore that we have.
They sure don't.
They really don't care about it. I was out at a very nice place in Barnett. And see, they don't value anything. Everything is just money, money, money. And we don't have mommies and daddies and grandma anymore to get the value.
There you go. That's right.
You can go to college, but you will not get wisdom.
No, that's the truth.
I agree.
Now, did you
You
ever?
got to pray. God is still in charge.
Okay.
Nobody is telling the children.
Well, we're going to
what
tell
they
them,
really need.
and you'll tell them now. And I have to thank you for this call and bringing that to
Okay.
our attention. And you keep watching, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And she's right in a point. That's why I said, you know, once again, I got to go. You folks in the last couple of years have heard me talking about karate. I have had the kids on the show. I'm going to have them on again in this 6-week period. It's Henrico Daiichi Shotokan Karate, all right? We teach karate and we teach self-defense. We've started teaching at Virginia Union, and as I was telling Christie before we came on the air, we have 3 students over there. The program is just beginning. It's been going on for about 8 weeks. These 2 and 3 individuals have already gotten championship status for Virginia Union. They won the state championships.
Wow.
Okay,
That
our
is
dojo,
huge.
our dojo,
Wow.
and our school and our sensei, we call them Shihan folks, Clarence folks, are going to the national championships in Ohio
That's
in the
great.
next couple of months. We want to put the same program that we put in Virginia Union in high school because of what this lady just said and what we've talked about before. These youngsters need discipline, and they need role models, and they need people who can relate to them that they will sit down and listen to and understand.
And
And
talk.
nothing gets attention like a black belt. Okay? Nothing gets the kids' attentions like a black belt. They see that and they know that you have put in some energy to get it, and they know they might want to listen to you.
Yeah.
And we have a group of youngsters at the school. We must have about, I think about 60 of our own in our dojo, who are a team. And it was, we were last night, I was watching the routine and watching them going through the training moves and whatnot with a sense of pride to see these youngsters, because I saw them all start. Okay, I saw them all start, and for them to be going to the national championships, that's a heck of a thing. We're going to have them on. It's Henrico Dojo. I don't have the phone number in front of me, but I can give it to you if you give me 1 second. And if you have a problem with a youngster, or if you just think that you want to do something really good with your young man or young woman, we start them at 5 years old, and we go all the way up to 80 years old.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Coleman.
Yes.
So with that karate and the discipline, does that help them in school?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely, because you're building a foundation of success, because it's a promotional instrument.
Does
You
that
know,
help teach patience?
It helps teach all of the fundamentals necessary for a good life, and we'll talk about that in 1 second. Hello, caller.
Yes, hello. I'd like to know, do Ms. Smith have a program for the disabled for ownership, home ownership?
We sure do. We do accommodate folks with disabilities, so that would be great. Please call us. We'd be happy to help you and talk to you about our program.
Okay, so how about just call that number 329-2500?
That's right.
Okay, well, thank you.
Give them a call tomorrow. They're waiting to hear from you.
Thank you.
And tell them
Thank
Ed
you.
said to call.
All right, thanks so much.
Okay,
Thank
bye-bye.
you.
That's good. See, now I feel like the show worked because we got one person.
Yeah,
All right?
yeah.
And each one, teach one.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you, young lady, for doing that.
Thanks.
And yes, this organization can help you out. Anybody else want to call in, talk about any subject, you can do that, because Christie and I are very well versed, and we can talk about just about anything. But keep in mind what I said earlier and what she said. If you are in foreclosure, or if you're underwater on your home and you want help on how you can help yourself, these folks can do it. If you are a new homeowner or a new home buyer, a person that's just really getting started and want to see about getting some housing and getting what do you have to do, they can help you. If you are a disabled person, as you just heard, this young lady call up and you heard the president, CEO say, yes, we can help you. Those 4 or 5 words mean an awful lot. Yes, we can help you.
It does.
Okay?
It does.
So don't waste time. Now, for the next couple of weeks, again, each session we're going to talk about things that are beneficial to you. That's the whole idea of Conversations with Ed, all right? And it is, it's a conversation, which means in a conversation it's 2 ways. So that means you guys get a chance to talk to some of these people that we're going to have on one-on-one right here on the air, and we're going to have them all give out their personal information, meaning professional business information, so that you can talk to them one-on-one, just one-on-one between you. But the main thing to make it work is you have to pick up the phone, you have to reach out for that help. Ask and ye shall receive. I'm stealing from the Bible, but it's true.
Because if you don't ask, thou shalt not have, right?
Now, Christie.
Yes.
Back to day-to-day events that are happening around the country.
Okay. So we have the Create a Home for Our Hero.
Yeah.
Again, that is for the Affordable Housing Week, April the 22nd through April the 27th.
Now, this is next week. This coming up. Now, when you're talking about Affordable Housing Week, you're having consulting during this week too. Is that
this week we're actually having the rehab for the disabled veteran, homeless veteran, to be able to have housing after the week is completed.
So you need people to come in and help you finish building the house?
That's correct. We need people to come. We need hands, skilled tradesmen to come.
Where's the house?
The house is at 1410 North 22nd Street, Richmond, Virginia, 23223. I'm glad you asked.
1410.
Again, 1410 North 22nd Street, Richmond, Virginia.
Nice neighborhood, too.
23222. And it's a beautiful house.
Yeah, it's got to be if it's up in that area.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And, I think, again, being able to do this and provide for the veterans that have fought for our country and that have been able to protect us, it's a way to get back. I look at what happened in Boston, and I think that's, that happened. But we would have much more of that had it not be for our veterans.
That's the truth.
So we all should be thinking about our veterans, and we should all be helping to pull them up because we don't know what they've gone through.
Well, I do.
But I don't. So all I can do is just offer that help, right?
But Charlene, my wife, my lovely wife, I should say. I was trying to make sure I'm saying it right because she's something else. But she writes books among all of her talents. Her brain is going constantly. She wrote the Mothers to Daughters cookbook, which is now in reprint. Again, the book is very, very popular.
Okay.
And she wrote How to Have Fun on a Low/No Budget in 30 Days or Less, which has been very successful. And we've been doing book signings at the military bases, at Langley Air Force Base, Fort Eustis, Fort Lee, Andrews Air Force Base. And she's been talking to these different groups, sailors, Marines, soldiers, Air Force, and listening to them to the point now that she's writing a book, and another book, and it's called Welcome Home, because that's how we greet each other, and they welcome home. And looking at these youngsters, I brought my grandson, who's 19 years old, I brought him down from New York about 3 weeks ago just to hang out for a couple of days. It's one of my favorite grandsons. But anyhow, I took him down to the base, and he's in the twixt and tween. He did 1 year college, and like he said, Dad, Papa, I don't really see anything. It's not that interesting. I'm thinking about the military. Well, when he got on post with me and Charlene and had a chance to talk one-on-one to these young people that are in the Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines. I'm partial to the Army, but being that it's my grandson, I want him to get the most out of it. I steered him towards the Air Force because of the technology.
Right.
What a career it is now.
Huge.
I mean, what a career. When I went in, and I hate to tell my age by saying I went in 1960, I got $78 a month with an extra $55 for being a paratrooper for airborne. Yeah, I got an extra $55 for that, and then naturally we got extra dollars for being in combat. But by the same token, these kids are starting out with $4,000 and $5,000 a month. And as they go,
that's a lot of money.
Absolutely. When you also get all your housing, all your clothing, all your food, education, all your medical, and job training. When you come out of the military now, if you come out standing up straight, and you had one of the jobs that are technical or what, I forget there's a name for it. It's IT, but there's a definite name for it. You're talking about 6 figures when you come out of the door. So 4 years in the military, 6 figures. 4 years in college, McDonald's. The way we're set up right now, you have college grads, some master's degrees working in McDonald's. Not to take away from them, because they have enough sense to know they have to do something.
That's right, they have to.
Okay, so I'm not knocking that industry or anybody that's out trying to do something, not just sitting on their butts waiting for something to come to them. When you hear us talk about these programs, we're not talking about gimme programs, okay? We're not talking about giving, we're talking about helping the people who have earned what we're talking about doing.
That's right, and empowering them. You know,
I love that word.
About the income that we see from the military and the young folks earn now. You know, I would love to see some type of financial literacy program that's formed for them. Because if they actually are in combat, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they get money, but they're fighting, so they can't spend it, right?
Well, you know what happens to it, and this is part, and I shouldn't be talking about my wife's book because I'm telling secrets, but it's going to be part of what she talks about in there. One of the problems with the guys coming home is that when you're overseas, your money goes into the bank here,
right? Or
you send it home to your wife.
Okay.
A lot of the guys are coming home, and that money's not there,
right?
And their wife is not there.
And they're in foreclosure.
On top of everything else. And that's where some of these suicides are coming from.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
That's exactly what it is. And this is something that we're trying to work on and try to work around. Well, we have next week, we have the 2 gentlemen that'll be here from McGuire VA Hospital who work with the guys, as I like to say, coming in. And they're going to address some of this also. But a lot of what's going on can be avoided. And people say, I don't want my son or my daughter going into military because they're going into war. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, okay? We were, and I'm not downplaying it, but I just want the comparison to be right. We were in Afghanistan for 10 years. We lost 5,000 troops, right?
Right.
We were in Vietnam for 7 years. We lost 50,000 troops, right? We were in the Second World War for 4 years. We lost almost 1 million.
Wow.
Okay? A large portion. So when you put things in the proper context and perspective, you know, you gotta kind of wonder what's going on here.
Wow.
But we're kind of slowing down because we've been talking a long time, and you guys are not calling up and asking us any questions. What's going on?
They're listening.
That's a good sign, right? That's a good sign. But we're going into the last quarter here, so if you do have something you want to know or something you want to ask us about while I do have Christie here, please call up now. Don't call me next week asking me something about what we talked about today. Yes, you can. I'm just teasing you. All right? I'm just teasing you. What else you got? I
was going to say, and also I wanted to just talk a little bit about... Go ahead.
Good. No. Again, I'm looking at this, and I went right past it when I was looking at it because, you know, it just looks like it should be. I'm holding it up again. It looks like it should be on the table here. You see all these papers. I don't know if you can, but there's papers all over here talking about, you know, the different subjects that we're talking about. But go ahead. I cut you off. All right.
I just was going to say, you know, with this program and Create Our Home, one of the challenges that the organization has been faced with is, you know, getting materials and certain sponsors to donate material and sponsorship. And I'm saying this because I think if you are trying to do something good for someone that, to me, in my thought process, has saved some lives, because they have hours, all of ours, if they're fighting for us and the cause, then donating material to make sure that the brethrens or the sisterins successfully can come out of whatever it is that put them into that pitfall, I think that's success. And, you know, I go into these stores and we're doing these calls, and my staff has been calling, and, you know, several stores, and I won't name them, but several stores has said no, but they always rant and rave about doing stuff in the community and for veterans. And I felt like that was wrong. So Channel 6 and I went to visit. That is wrong. That is wrong. You know, as a community organization, you have certain companies and certain people that want to be a part, and they do reach out. They do support. Then you have other companies that say they support, but they don't, and it's not right.
So you dimed them out.
Listen,
that's right.
You know, I feel like, you know, again, if I'm asking for material to build a house, to have someone purchase it that can afford to buy their own materials, that's one thing. I'm asking to help someone that's sleeping under bridges when it's raining and it's cold and it's wet. And if my son can reach in his pocket and take his quarter out and give it to someone that's homeless because he feels that's the right thing to do, then giving a 2x4 or some lumber or sheetrock to help build a home to protect our veterans like they protected us, that's the way it should be.
Right. And this, you know, when you talk about donations, we automatically think of the Lowe's or the Walmarts or War Bondsums, right? Yeah, no, we think about them, you know, that. You don't have to be a Lowe's, or you don't have to be a Walmart or whatever. You could be a mom and pop store. And if what you're donating comes to a total of maybe $100, that's okay. It doesn't have to be $1 million donation.
That's correct.
Okay.
We have a small store, a mom and pop store, National Hardware.
Now
They've
listen,
been around.
Support the people that support us. National Hardware, where are they located?
They're located on Brook Road.
Okay.
I don't know the specific address, but they're by the Wawa's towards Virginia Center Common.
There you go.
You know, we called them up and we told them what we were trying to do. And again, this is the 12th hour. They didn't hesitate. Come in, we'll give you what you need.
Well, let me say this then. Any organization, any store, any group that donates to this program will recognize you on my 6 weeks, and I'm sure you'll get recognized by other organizations.
Exactly, because we're doing press releases.
Oh, yeah, you're good at that. You're good at that. Okay. Hello, caller. Hello. Can't hear you. What happened? Call back. Can't hear you. Call back. Try it again, okay? And just maybe turn your TV down. That might even help. But we do want to hear from you. Sorry about that. But yeah, again, you don't have to be one of those giant stores or whatever to
come and lend your trade. I mean, if you're a plumber, come and lend your trade as a contractor. You know, your name will be mentioned. But again, you have contractors out there that are veterans that have called up. They saw my piece. They called up. We had one veteran that owned a installation company. He called up and he saw the piece and he volunteered to do the whole house.
Outstanding. What's his name?
His name
or do you want to tell? Can you? You don't have to tell me because a lot of people want to give and don't want their name known. Now, hello, caller.
Hi, I'm sorry. I guess my TV was up too loud.
Okay.
I would like to have some numbers that I can call, and also the names of the organizations again, because I realize there's you, and then you seem to be involved with a lot of other organizations as well. And I'm speaking of your guest there.
Okay, we can do that. Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Christie Smith, and I'm with Neighborhood Housing Services of Richmond. My phone number is 804-329-2500. We are located at 2712 Chamberlain Avenue, Richmond, Virginia, 23222. We are right beside the carpool on Chamberlain Avenue. That's a landmark, so we always say the carpool, and which is one of our sponsors, by the way.
Well, hey. Hello for the carpool. Support the people that support us. That's right. Okay.
We do. I definitely want to thank Pleasant Hardware.
Right down the street from here. Pleasant Hardware, thank you very much. Once again, support the people who support us. Pleasant Hardware has come on board to help with this housing venture.
That's right. And I will say, Home Depot was one of the most enlightening companies I was able to call. We'd send some footage, and instantly we got a call back from the assistant store manager, Ray, and he said, you know what, Christie, we'll do whatever we need to help you. Send us a material list. And that's in Ashland.
In Ashland?
In Ashland, Virginia. You know, not around the corner, not in Mechanicsville, right by where the house is. That was in Ashland.
Wow. Okay, so big ups for them too then.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. And any other folks that are watching you, individuals, businesses, corporations, CEOs, whatever, if you happen to be flicking channels and you happen to stop right now, get on board. This is a real, real good project and one that's very timely.
It is.
All right. And it's just the beginning. Okay, here we go again. Let's see. Hello, caller. Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, what's your question?
I just wanted to make a comment. I'm sorry, Ed, I caught the show late, but what this woman is doing is the same thing that civilians, citizens, private citizens did for the veterans after the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, and even all the way up to World War I, before Congress got off its butt and promised a bunch of stuff that still has not delivered.
Isn't that amazing?
The treatment of the disabled veterans is deplorable. Their children run around in rags. They live in places. It is just simply deplorable. I'm glad folks like you were trying to wake people up, because I see so many of these young kids coming into, especially with head injuries. A lot of them commit suicide after coming back because somebody would not see them at the Veterans Administration. And it's just, it is, I don't know. God bless you for what you're doing, and much success.
And please keep watching. Every time you call, you have something solid to say, and I appreciate it.
I never miss your show. I'm sorry I didn't realize you had this slot.
Well, I'll be on for the next 5 more weeks after this, so call in every week with a question or comment. More than welcome.
Well, it ain't like I'm going nowhere.
I hear you, brother. Okay. And you're talking about head injuries as I feel my 6 screws. Okay. Take care.
I got them too.
I hear you, brother. Okay. All right, folks, we're in the countdown now. We're in our last 5 minutes. As I said, this is the first of 6 shows, and you'll see the guests we had on tonight. Christie, all of our guests are as positive and as dynamic as this young lady is, but this program is at the top of the crop. So you heard it today, as again, each one teach one. Pass it on. Pass on what you've heard. Don't hesitate to call. You can also call me. I haven't put my own personal number up, but I will give it to you. 804-714-7983. 804-714-7983. If you have any questions, vets, if you have any questions pertaining to how you can go about getting into the VA programs, please don't hesitate to call me. I spent 10 years on the Congressional Standing Committee for Veterans Affairs. I do know a little bit about this. It took me 30 years to get my 100%. It's out there for you also. You just have to have earned it, okay? On that note, Christie, I want to thank you so much. And you'll be back.
I sure will.
All right, you'll be back. And again, don't forget this week coming up, all right, we're going to have this whole week talking about these programs. You can also come over to the site, see the site. You can come over and help. Again, 1410 North 22nd Street. That's where the home is being refurbished and rebuilt, and we'd like for you to come on out and see that. I do have one thing on a personal note I want to put out. Hold on, one call. This will be our last call, but hello, caller?
I just want to acknowledge the fact that your guest has a law degree from the University of Richmond, and I'm very proud to find that out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's on the ball, and she's worked hard. Thank you, caller. You're always on point also. Appreciate it. See, you keeping secrets. You keeping secrets, okay? Now, see, all of us have degrees, but law, you have a degree in law.
Well, you know,
I know.
I have a couple of degrees.
You have to. If you have one in law, you have to have a couple. What else you have?
A couple of things.
Okay, brag.
Hey.
We'll have her back on bragging at another time. Meanwhile, you guys stay tuned. Same time, same station next week. I thank you once again for letting me come into your house And we're going to go out on my theme music that played real long at the beginning on purpose. That's Bobby Boyd. That's part of, you know, you talk about the old bands. That was my band. And I'm going to play something new for next week as an intro, just so you can get a taste of it. We did it this past weekend up in New York. It's called Gomez. If you like that Latin flavor, I'm going to start the show off with that next week, written and produced by Frank Abel in the Zen Den in New York, and I did the percussion on it. Boy, it's jamming. So get your dancing shoes on for next week.
Looking forward.
Stay tuned. We're going to have our karate folks on. We're going to have Joe Morrissey on. We're going to have the VA people on. We're going to have some people on from the Roots organization. We're going to have people on from Transforming Today's Youth. And you're going to get me for the next 6 weeks. We're going to talk to you and tell you about some real good things. So tune in next week. Call your friends, because a lot of folks probably didn't see on Facebook that I had put up that this is when we start. Now you know we're here. Come on back. And I got a 1 minute sign up, which means we're getting ready to sign off. They're going to put my music on again. If you like the music, you can get it online. Bobby Boyd, B-O-Y-D. Okay? Thank you. Bad sound coming. There you go. Thank you. And make sure you stay tuned for next week. See you then.
Thank you.
Christie, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
This was good, too.
This was excellent.
News that needed to get out.